What's up, YouTube? This is Honestly Though, the podcast show, and I am your host, the one and the only Joel Ramsey. Thank you for tuning in to what is a dream come true for me, having and producing and starring in my own talk show. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't know, right? Because you're just tuning in. It's first episode. In this episode, we'll be getting to know me, why it is that I started this podcast, and what the podcast will be about. You know, the content, the topics, stuff like that. And so, without further ado, let's get right into the show. Hope you like that intro. So we're going to get into the aspect of getting to know me. Who am I? And I guess it will cover some of why I'm doing the show, or you will hear some of the views that will find their way into the show in different aspects of the show. So here we go. So the first question: what am I passionate about? Yeah, that's a tough question. My passion though lies in discussion and finding the truth. And what do I mean by that? I guess since I was 17 and I started to get into I was dragged into the world of conspiracy theories and all of those stuff. I guess that ignited something in me in relation to finding out information, finding out what you never knew before. In the conspiracy world, it was this one guy that seemed so da 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 da, and you just got hooked into it. So, but in getting involved in it, there was a fire that was lit in me in search of the truth. And no matter which direction I found myself going in, no matter how crazy the directions I went in, the objective was always geared towards finding the truth. So that to me would be what I would say my passion is. Truth seeking, truth finding, um, and discussion. Those are my passion. So like with this venture that I'm starting out on, that is what it is primarily about. Seeking out the truth and having dialogue with whichever guests I might have on. That's the aim. Truth seeking at the end of the day, no matter which direction the conversations might go. So yeah, that's first question. So I have about 30 or something like that. Um, yeah, so stick around. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? Forgive me as well. I kind of battling, cold, so I might sound a bit more nasal than I already sound. Cause this really great to seem like my regular voice. Once I get over this cold and you hear me again, this is all being typically sound. But what's my greatest accomplishment? That one is tough. I think I'm still working on it, but it have to do with personal development and character development. Yeah, that's what I found to be the most motivating, inspiring thing that I could do with my life. Develop myself and my character. Painful, definitely the worst thing you could ever embark on, but in the long run, hoping for the best. I know it should develop a better person, a more disciplined, calm person, but I think that's what I would consider an accomplishment, to get to that place where I'm a more developed person. So yeah, that's what I would say. I haven't gotten there, I haven't reached anywhere close to it, but I would say I'm very far from the person that I was just probably 2-3 years ago. I'm very far from that person. Next question. What's your favorite recent memory? Favorite memory? recent memory was starting out the year with with two resolutions: starting a podcast and learning how to sing. And so that I would say would be my most recent favorite memory, because I'm doing it now. I'm doing half of it now, and I hope to start singing in short order. Hopefully. I don't know how it's going to go, but hopefully we'll start singing. I give myself like November, December before I start trying out the classes. I bought a course for singing, but when you're in a learning environment, it's different from you take up your own money, purchase a course. That don't sound right. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the personal development, character development, discipline thing that we talked about in the previous question. Yeah? So just chill. Still working on it. Best childhood memory. Best childhood memory. I would say, yeah, definitely. Not, I would say I have many really good memories, but the best one would be playing football from a prep school and scoring a goal as a right back from a free kick. I think it was from a free kick, yeah. Nobody remember that moment except for me. We're playing at I don't remember what the school was, but it had multiple fields. Probably it was like Hillel or one of those top-notch schools. But we played against a shabby side. It was an awful side. We dumped them up probably like 9-love or 11-love or something. So I think that's why my goal was overshadowed. I don't know if it was a free kick or if it was just a shot on goal from probably like 20 something yards out in big football field terms. But yeah, I take it from the left. I was playing on the left on this occasion. The left flank. I take the shot, and it went into the back of the net. That was the best childhood memory, because I love playing football. I don't fancy watching it because I'm not in it, but I love playing football. I'm not good at it, but I love to play it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's like my best childhood memory, and the worst at the same time, because nobody ever even celebrate with me, because again we beat them like 9-love, 11-love, so everybody was technically getting on the score sheet. Yeah, so that was the best childhood moment. Yeah, love football, love playing football. Yeah. Next question: what's your favorite holiday? Favorite holiday. Any day away from work is my best holiday in the world. But my favorite holiday, I would say, would have to be. I don't know. I'm not too much a fan of holidays like that. I have Easter, nah. You have Independence, Emancipation, nah. New Year's, no. I don't know. I don't think I fancy holidays like that. Yeah. It's not so much the holiday, but what you do with that day that I think I fancy. So, yeah. I'm not big on special days. I grew up not doing special days like that, or emphasizing special days. So, special days for me aren't considered one-off occasions. Is once there's an occasion that come up, I cherish moments like that, I would say. Who knows me best? That's a tough one. I'd say my mom knew me best. I think my parents knew me best. Yeah, I think they knew me best. That's what I would work with. My previous relationship, I think that partner knew me the best, or that partner saw every aspect of me, or all aspects to me that I would say anybody has ever seen, because I guess my parents wouldn't have seen all aspects of me. Anyways, so let's pause. So yeah, that's what I would say. Can you believe I like recorded like 10 minutes worth of video and then I checked the camera, not recorded. Anyways, so I think I was at what skill would you most like to learn? So I guess I would say singing, because that's the next thing I have on my resolution. That for me is the most important because I love singing. I love to sing. I love hearing good singing. So I met this girl probably in June. Good friend of mine now, I guess. Yeah. And she have a beautiful voice. And in hearing her sing, I think it's the first time somebody I know ever sing, and it brought tears to my eyes. And yeah, I was stunned. I was stunned when I heard her singing, and it kind of gave me this idea that if I was supposed to acquire a lot of money, I would build a studio in my house and just have singers come and sing for me in that studio room. Yeah, I love to sing. I can't sing at all. To save my life, at a chance, I'd die. But I love hearing good songs or good sounds and good lyrics. I love it. So that would definitely be the skill I would say I would love to acquire the most. What's your earliest memory? Earliest memory would definitely be like basic school, porridge, eating porridge in basic school, going to basic school with my grandmother and eating porridge, and the smell of the porridge. It wasn't good porridge necessarily, but that smell, is a nostalgic kind of experience. um yeah, to think on how I viewed the area that I went to school back then to how I view it back then and how I view it now. Two different experiences, two different memories. I was amazed as a kid going to school, amazed to be around a lot of other kids, and yeah, it was just a crazy experience for me. Yeah, earliest experience of mine going to school. Yeah, nice experience though. Yeah, so that's the earliest memory. What makes me unique? So I don't think I am a unique person. I don't think we are unique people. If I would say what makes me stand out, I would say how I look and how I sound, the traits that are going after, and the experiences that I've had. But I don't think they make me unique. I think they all add up to what make us alike. So I'm not a fan of building up differences amongst people. I like to find similarities. So it's hard for me to say that I'm unique. I think that the things that I can do, people can do them. I think the things that I can go for, people can go for them. I think the things that I can lose, others lose them as well. So in that regards, I do see uniqueness there. And the reason why I might be able to do something more is because I think the traits of my parents, grandparents, so forth. But I think somebody without those traits could learn them as well. So I'm not a fan. I know it's probably wrong, but I'm not a fan of uniqueness and people striving to be unique. I think you should own the fact that we are all alike, and that in and of itself should be a motivation to push for good, because if one person can do it, then all of us can do it or should be able to do it. So Yeah, that's what I would say about my uniqueness. Yeah. Who are my heroes? Next question. I definitely say my parents. They put up with me for 31 years. So I would say it took a lot of heroism to do that. I was like in the beginning as in the beginning of my life, I was awful. I even remember being awful when I think back on like that young preteen stage. Awful person. I couldn't tell you why I was that awful either. I just know I was extremely awful. But yeah, it passed and they loved me and they take care of me, they nurture me. Um, they put out the all for me. So I'd say they were my hero. Nobody has loved me like that. Nobody can love me like that. Um, so yeah, I definitely would put them down as being my heroes. Yeah, because they laid the foundation for me to hopefully build something positive and you know build on, grow from that foundation. So definitely my heroes. Next question: when did you first feel like an adult? So that question now, uh, a bit embarrassing, but at the same time, I like the fact that I can own it. I guess. So I was coasting through life on perceived skills before. Like I grew up hearing that I was smart, like in prep school, and I have like the grades to show it in prep school. But I think something happened in like grade 5 onwards where I started to be like, all right, so if I this smart, then I should just cut out this studying thing because it kind of wasting my time. And again, that was during that time period when I was like super awful to my parents. So they would have beat me. Like if you try and beat me to go study, I don't care. I still not going to study. And I just go do it. And because it was so many of us, you couldn't. I, I, I pick up on the fact that you can't waste time on me when other people need attention and you have work to do as well. So I found ways to cut, cut take shortcuts, I would say, and it definitely impacted me badly in terms of my personality and direction of my life and stuff. So in my 20s, I started to see that, and late 20s, it started to affect me really badly. But then I think becoming 30, that focus on becoming 30, that's when things changed for me. So I would say around that time was when I felt more like an adult because I started to do personality development, started to not ignore character flaws that I have and awful behaviors that I developed for myself. So, so around that time, I started to take responsibility for my actions and the direction that I would be going down as an adult. And yeah, I would say that's when I felt most like an adult, when I started to take responsibility. It's the most important decision that I've ever made up to this point in my life. Most important would be that period in which I gave my life to God and I started that focus on character development. That I would say would be life changing for me. Because my mindset changed, my outlook on life changed. It was a fresh experience for me, and things looked or appeared differently from that point forward. So definitely, I would say that was the most important decision. I I said it to my mom the year before I did that I decided to make that step because I was conflicted mentally. I never wanted to grow up, and I never wanted to not grow up. So I was at a crossroads, and I said to my mom, I remember distinctly I said to her in 2018. I told her I don't think that I'm going to make it to say 2019. I think I feel like this is it for me in terms of the direction of my life because I was so conflicted with change and growing. Yeah, so that was a crazy experience for me. And deciding to face life head on and not take shortcuts anymore because the shortcut thing wasn't working. So in realizing that, I think that's where I would consider that decision making process to be the most important one that I've ever made. And then I hope to build on it. I hope to have more important decisions to make in the future. Yeah. That's what I would say. What are you most thankful for? It's a good question. Thankful for the patience that my parents had with me. Thankful for the patience that God had with me, or is still having with me. Um, that's what I would say. Definitely, that's definitely what I would say I'm most thankful for, because, as I said, there was a path that I was going down, and it wasn't the brightest path, and so very ev- almost every day I wake up with that memory of where I was going until I was allowed to choose differently, or I chose a different option. Yeah, so definitely thankful for that. Next question: what is the greatest challenge or struggle you've ever faced? I'd say the greatest challenge would be facing life and the things that come with it. You know, you wake up, you don't do anything to anybody, and people and their choices affect you. And so I'd say the greatest challenge that I've ever faced, or the greatest struggle, would be the choices of others, because you kind of grow up with this notion that life should be fair, because your legal system kind of set up a particular way, school kind of set up a particular way, it, systems around you kind of set up a way where they're trying to root out wrongdoing in a sense. So you kind of take the wrong message from those systems instead of approaching it from the perspective of people will still do wrong, and the system might not be perfect, the system might not even work, and you still have to find an answer for when the system doesn't work, or somebody gets away from the system. I never got the I never took the message from from that perspective, and so things were difficult to accept for me on that basis, that we have choice and we can choose wrongly. So that I would say would be my greatest challenge and my greatest struggle, accepting the fact that you can make good choices, but somebody else will make good choices, and it might mess up your journey, or it might appear to mess up your journey. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'd say. What's the biggest risk I've ever taken? Biggest risk, the biggest risk I would say was in going after what I never thought was important because of my mindset at the time, but going after development of self and rejection of you only live once kind of a nobody should talk to you, don't let anybody correct you kind of a thing. Because as of the, if I feel it, I'm going to do it. If I feel like to, I'm going to push in that direction. So as more feelings based, at one time in my life. I still struggle with it, for sure. I grew up on so many Disney shows that tell you follow your heart, that I unconsciously was following my heart, like unconsciously. So definitely that's one of the things that I would say I took a big risk on, ignoring what I was programmed to do because of what I chose to associate myself with and watch and so forth, and go after what somebody else say was the best thing to achieve. So yeah, definitely that's the biggest risk I've ever taken, because your mind tell you so many things about going against your normal way of doing things. It take a lot of strength to stick to it and to have faith in the fact that this is the path, even though it don't feel good and even though it don't feel right at the moment. To go and stick with it, that's a risky thing. And I understand why people stick with following their feelings. I completely understand it. Completely. We'll never fully bash somebody for following their feelings over logic. Never fully do it. I'll do it to some extent because it's very weird. But I understand completely how people can be lulled into that. You grow up with your feelings. The first thing you do is feel. This to ignore that for logic, while logic over time has been manipulated for you. Some people tell you things and it, under the guise of logic, but then is bad influence and so forth. So yeah, it's a risky thing to do, to go against your feelings. But yeah, that's what I would say my biggest risk so far is and will be going against my feelings. Because I think my feelings has shown up stuff about people and situations that they're true. So whenever I feel a particular way, I tend to have to nowadays weigh action and reaction and consequences with just you feel it, so you just react to it a particular way, how you deem to be right based on how you will feel. So yeah, crazy. What's the most ridiculous nightmare you've ever had? Most ridiculous nightmare I would say was a dental dream that I had. I dreamt that my teeth were exploding and I was running amongst them, and there were mountains. They were exploding in somewhere. And for that reason, I never went to the dentist. I can't tell you how long I never went to the dentist, because that would be like top notch scary to just throw that out there. But I guess for getting to know me to some extent, I never went to the dentist for let's say for over 10 years. I think the last time I went to the dentist before recently going back to the dentist, I was probably like 17. I had a ridiculous experience at the dentist. Then I think I had that teeth dream in my early 20s, late like 19 on to 2021 probably. Yeah, my teeth just started blowing up in my mouth, or blowing up somewhere. I don't know where I was because I was running amongst my teeth and they were just blowing up all over the place. That's the most ridiculous, because it kept me. I chose at least then to stay away from the dentist. Um, Thankfully, when I went back to the dentist, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as it probably should have been. Yeah, so yeah, that show you how much when you follow your feelings, you kind of, yeah. So yeah, that's all I would say there. If your pet could talk, what do you think they might say about you? I think my pet, sometimes my pets would, because I have two cats, a male and a female cat. I think they would cuss a lot of bad words at me because of how I like might treat them and ignore them. Because they're only with me now for food. Because they're technically not house cats. They just know me and I can pet them and I give them food. But they're still wild. So I think they would cuss bad word at me. I think they cuss bad word at me when they're asking me for food. So I think that's what they would say to me if they could talk for sure. And then I'd probably have to um, yeah, what is the strangest food combination you enjoy? Definitely, definitely, definitely. That would be eating a ripe banana with peanut butter and bread. So I just put the banana. I eat one slice, get one slice of bread, butter it with peanut butter, and put a ripe banana in there. Fold it up like a hot dog, and I eat it. That's the weirdest, nicest combination of food, I think. Yeah, you should try it. Next question: what is your go-to karaoke song? I think I have a lot of them. I think I have Bastille Pompeii. That's one of them. I should give you a sneak peek, right? I should. Alright, let me see if I can find instrumental. No, don't criticize me because I don't sound good. I don't start my classes, so just chill. Thank you. Alright, you're gonna hear me singing. And you see how I start get weird because I love these things. I have a cold too, so just chill. I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show. And the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Gray clouds rolled over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, those hey, and I don't want to start like a karaoke session, you know. Just chill. Alright? Sorry. I don't sound good, of course, but just chill. Yeah. That's one of my that's one of my oh wow, passenger let her go just pop up. But that's one of my go to karaoke songs. Yeah, definitely. But sorry about that catastrophe. If I was good at editing, I'd put some chaos behind me, like a burning city or something. Yeah, but I don't have the time for that. That would be really good though, really good. I'd have the time. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the questions. What is the most awkward situation you've ever found yourself in? Well, I can say one. The job that I'm at now. When I first went there, I was trying to send a message. You know, people that know like computer, like you have a thing command prompt or control something where you command prompt and you can send message through control or commands something. Whatever I'm trying to say, you can send a message through that black box that you probably hope I can probably put it up there. You can send messages to people. I learned that in high school. And so probably my second week there, probably. Still in my egg, you know, and there's a friend that I met. Started, you know, I was in a section where we're good friends with people, and so or the environment was good for friendship. And so I wanted to send him a message, and so I was like, I thinking about something, you know. That time I was still fresh leaving out of my conspiracy theory worldview, but you know, pranking somebody would be really fun, you know. So I tried to prank him by sending him a message that said, "Your computer will shut down now. The new world order has taken over." In something about the new world order taking over. and your computer will shut down in 3 seconds or something to that extent. How far you think this message went? I put in all of what I could remember from school. Mind you, it wasn't even in class, in a school class, in a school setting or a classroom setting that I learned it. It was just like among some friends in the IT room. And I sent that message to almost every computer in the organization. And at the time, no, I think no, even though they still have the same amount of people, probably about 150 people were working at the office. It never went to everybody, you know. But I sent off the message, and I looking at my friend because it's a big room that section is in. I looking down there, you know, giddy, you know, like, sucker, watch it. Looking for him to be shocked. I sent it probably like 3 times because he wasn't responding, wasn't reacting to it. And I was like, why not? So, typing it up, still not reacting. I sent it off again, no reaction. This was over the space of my lunchtime. So I chose I think it was my lunchtime. Should be my lunchtime. We're heading to lunchtime. And no reaction. So I was like, and I never wanted to tell him because I still wanted it to be a prank. And then HR was beside my section. So I just heard some lady from HR say, "What is this? Oh my God! what's this on my computer? Somebody, I don't know what happened." You know, one of those older persons that, you know, not so familiar with technology. And as soon as I heard that, I just said, Jesus Christ, come. Other people in place and lose my job in 2 weeks. My father going to kill me. I can't go home and tell them, so I just lose my. So within just hearing her say that, I was like, it's finished. It done. Life done now. Life over. How am I in this situation? How I end up here, Joel? And the IT director at the time, I just see this guy steam round and got down to the supervisor office, and I was like, yeah, everybody get it done. It finished. Yeah, man, it that done. You know, 2 weeks, good stuff. Get half a pay, half a month's pay, you know. And so I wait for him to come out because the computer was registered to my supervisor. So I knew exactly. Once I saw him go down there, I was like, all right, him go down there because the name of the person on the computer come up, because that's how the message would be sent. It would be sent with the name of the person and then the message. So I knew they saw the name of the computer, and then they went directly to her. And then I was like, wow, all right. I had the choice now in front of me. Should I lie about this, or should I, you know, be honest? And I was like, all right, 2 weeks. We don't want to lose our job. So, you know, it was a tough decision to make. And I remember just waiting for him to come back out. And when him come out, you know, and I was like, yeah, that's me. I felt so small. I was like, yeah, I sent it. Sorry, I was sending a message to a friend, and I never know whether reach everybody. I was just playing a joke. And I was like, 2 weeks. And everybody around me laughing. Funny thing is that 2 people from the HR section cry out, what is this, whatever. And I went around to one of them because they call, and I went around, look on it, and I was just like, whoa, I don't know, you know. And I said, just close it off, you know, because I was thinking at this point in time, before the guy steam round, that it only got to these people. That's what I was telling myself, Joel, you put in the wrong thing and it going to just 2 people completely separate from the place that you sent it. And I was just like, yeah, just close it off, you know, it's alright. And then I started to hear grumbles about, what is this thing on my computer? What is it that they're saying? Whatever. And I was like, Yeah. So after the guy come on, and I had to go to my director now. Director called me up and Joel, why? What is this that And I was like, I think I ball. I think I ball. I cry at that time. Just get your job, decent job for me at the time, and I lose it. So it's like, I was just running a joke, I never mean to, all of them drama. And at the end of the day, she gave me a chance, she, yeah, forever grateful for that. Um, it definitely wasn't good for me, personality development wise, or character development wise, because I think at that time, because as I said, I wasn't necessarily the best at reading the right things from situation. So it wasn't necessarily the best thing for me. Thankfully, as I say, I still had opportunities to get things together. But yeah, that was the most awkward situation. And then somebody after that kept on calling me Al Qaeda. After that, the the two things never make sense, as in the name for the situation. But yeah, it was the most embarrassing situation. One of the most embarrassing situations I've ever found myself in, and I dig that whole like I could have done worse, as in I could have lied and say I don't know where this come from, blah blah blah, and I don't know. I definitely would have not been a job because I would trace it back to the computer and then I'd lie about it and then lose my job again in a probably more embarrassing way. But yeah, that was the most embarrassing thing, I would say, for sure, for sure. What is the dumbest way you injured yourself? So that's a story in itself. A lot of people might not know that when I was younger, I got burned, like severely burned. Um, I was playing with my siblings. A hurricane just passed probably like a month or a couple weeks, and there was no light. Probably light started to come back. I was probably 12, 13 at the time, and I decided to pour alcohol into a candle, a cup candle, and because we used to play with alcohol when we were younger, hide and play with alcohol, and set it on fire. We would probably pour alcohol in our hand middle, put a lime in there, and then set it on fire and say we're like Goku or whatever. So we used to do that a lot. And by a lot, I don't know how often, but I know it was something that I love to do. So this was another occasion. I think my father went to church that night. It was at evening. My mother was at home working or something, and she was doing something, probably cleaning or something at the time. But I know she was probably in her room. So I was outside with the rest of my siblings, and I got the candle, full it up. It never had a wick in the middle, so I poured alcohol in there, and I lit it, and the flames just went up towards. I just saw the flames just come right up at me, and all I remember was just running up and down, knowing that I'm on fire. I couldn't feel it because I was in shock, but I just knew I was on fire, and there was a point where I was going to give up because everybody was terrified. I don't know at what point my mother came out, but the four of us, the five of us, just terrified. Never deal with something like this, and I can just imagine what they saw. And but then to stop it, put it out, all of those stuff. I don't think I was calm enough to let them do anything to me. So I was pacing, and this probably just took like 5 seconds, but it felt like a lifetime because I also had an outer body experience at the time where I was going to give up and just allow it to wipe me out. I don't know how long that would have taken. that probably would have lasted forever. But I saw myself kneeling down and just passing away. Like in the middle of the living room entrance to the kitchen, I just saw myself kneeling down. And then what I remember was somebody coming and pouring a bucket of water. And I saw that bucket of water previously. When the flames lit up, I ran to the bucket of water, but I was so afraid that I never take it up. But I knew I was on fire and I saw the bucket of water, but I never reached for it. I couldn't reach for it. I couldn't move other than to run. I could hear my sisters saying drop and roll, something, something, something. I couldn't do anything. So that's why in my head I said, or that's why I kind of envisioned that I should just give up now, because I seen all of these options there and I just can't choose any of them. And so yeah, I got burned. I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. The first time I ever saw my father crying. So I thought I was getting dead, because like this man crying over this, I'm getting dead then. And yeah, so yeah, that was the dumbest way I ever got injured. After that, I still play with. To this day, I still play with fire. I love fire. Once I can control it. Electricity, hate with a passion. I don't know nothing about electricity. I would love to learn. Probably that's a skill I'd love to learn, being an electrician and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's the dumbest way I ever injure myself. How has your perspective on the world changed over time? This is a large topic to discuss. I started by saying for like 28 years I was a liberal, progressive type of person. I was more a consumer of things that was published mainstream, or points of view, ideologies that were more mainstream, more liberal in nature. So I was into the whole race is identity and feelings more important than logic, stuff like that. So that I would say was my basic perspective at the time. But then, the whole responsibility, seeking after the truth, looking to God as source of truth. I think that's when my mindset changed from a more liberal stance to a more conservative point of view. It was a drastic change. I understand fully why people are liberal, or I understand to some extent why people are liberal. So I wouldn't say I'm as harsh as I probably would have been, because though I was liberal in how I was viewing life, I was still kind of conservative because my parents were conservative. So there was still that amount of sin is sin kind of a thing. But I was still living a more liberal lifestyle, so I would be harsh. You know how liberals might look on conservatives as not fun, strict, stuck up, snobbish. That's how liberals tend to view conservatives. As I say, I understand why people are liberal. I think it have to do with the popularity of the movement in terms of the influences, where the influences come from, the main areas, social media, TV, music, news. Liberals control that aspect of influence. So the arts, the films, whatever, they control it. So I can understand why people are. What's your biggest regret to date? Biggest regret was not listening to people that had more experience than me when I was much younger. I think I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in now I probably would be in a better situation. Um, and when I made that transition at 28, 29, that was the weightier regret that I had. That's the guilt that stayed in me. How much time I wasted, and how old I was when I made that transition. That was really difficult to. That was a hill that was really difficult to climb for me. I felt really embarrassed, extremely embarrassed. Um, but that I would say was my biggest regret. But the positive of it probably would be in the fact that I understand that way of life a bit more, and I sympathize with people that are there and believe that they should stay there. Yeah, but that's my biggest regret, for sure, for sure. Do you believe in free will? Um, I hope to have more of these discussions in as an episode for themselves, but basic my basic answer would be yes. I believe that we have free will, not in the way that we have necessarily been taught about free will. I think that because we are created, there is a bound or a boundary that we have that we can't cross, but we have the freedom to do anything we want within that boundary. Just to how we're made, I think that we have free will, but not ultimate freedom. Yeah, that's a free will that I believe in. Right, so I have two more left, two more questions, and then we're out of here. Unless you want more karaoke, then I can give you a bonus karaoke session. Just let me know, and I'll give you that. So I need to go find some karaoke songs. Anyways, where do you think we go when we die? That's one of those questions. Biblically, I think there are two places that people go when they die, or there's a choice between two, or there's an option between two places. For one would be Abraham's bosom, the other place would be hell, the tormenting aspect of hell. Because I think there are two places in hell that you go to. One is, so I kind of get that teaching from the story with Lazarus, the sick man, and stuff. I think that when Christ come back, people that in Abraham's bosom will be pulled out of hell to meet him in the air, and then in the second death, the people that left in hell going to be cast into the lake of fire. So I think there are two parts to hell that exist now, kind of similar to the notion of purgatory. I think that's where we go when we die, and then after that, yeah. But that's a brief thing I'm saying right now. Probably I can speak on it a bit more in another episode. The final question: what do you think is the meaning of life? Save yourself. As a result of actions previous or prior to us being around, Adam and Eve messed things up, and the meaning of life now is to save yourself. Save yourself and bring as many people with you, influence as many people as possible to save themselves, or how to save themselves. So yeah, I think the meaning of life prior to that was live and enjoy what you have here to enjoy, and to be obedient. I think that all got through the window after that particular incident, and so life, we have been fighting for life since then, and so in order to have life now, we have to save ourselves. Yeah, that's what I would sum it up as for now. But yeah, that's the questions. That's to get to know me and what I think about certain things. Um, Hope it wasn't too long. I know it's probably long because right now it's like recording for like an hour, 20 minutes, and that's just in recording time. I probably spent like 2.5 hours on this so far because my battery dead and I had to charge it up and stuff. But it was nice. It was nice to share these 30 questions or however many there are. And I hope the following episodes will be enjoyed as well. So, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Any questions that you'd like me to answer, if I want to answer them, sure I'll answer them. I might have a section where I answer comments in previous comments in the current episode. So feel free to leave a comment asking me a question about life or some religious belief, something. Like the video if you like it. Share it if you find that it is something that is worth sharing. And subscribe if you want to watch more of these videos. Hit the notification bell so that you will be aware when I upload. I wonder if I will actually keep up with it. So that's the next challenge. Anyways, so yeah, I enjoyed recording this, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me singing, because I'll put in a bonus track of me singing after this show ends. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode where I'll be discussing something else that is of interest to me and my brain in more detail. Hopefully we'll have on a guest that will counter what we have to say and make it an even more interesting discussion. Thank you for watching. It's Honestly Though, the podcast show, and I'm your host, Joel Ramsey. Until next time, enjoy your life and do something positive. Yeah, take care. So this is Atlantis by Seafret. The birds have left their tree, the lights pour onto me. I could feel you lying there all on your own. We got here the hard way, all those words that we exchanged. Is it any wonder things got broke? In my heart and in my head, I never take back the things I said so high above. I feel it coming down, she said, in my heart and in my head. Tell me why this has to end, oh no, oh no. I can save us, my Atlantis we fall. We build this down on shaky ground. I can save us, my Atlantis, oh no. We build it up to pull it down. Yeah, we're getting into it, Getting into it, yeah? Kill it again. Now all the birds have fled. The hurt just leaves me scared, losing everything I've ever known. It's all become too much. Maybe I'm not built for love. If I knew that I could reach you, I would go. It's in my heart, it's in my head. Can't take back the things you said so high above. I feel it coming down, she said, in my heart and in my head. Tell me why this has to end, oh no, oh no. I can save us, my Atlantis we fall. We build this down on shaky ground. I can save us, my Atlantis, so no. We build it up to pull it down. And we build it up, and we build it up. Yeah, we build it up to pull it down. And we build it up, and we build it up. And we build it up to pull it down. I can save us, my Atlantis we fall. We build this town on shaky ground. I can save us, my Atlantis, oh no. We build it up to pull it down. Yeah, so that's song number 1 on the bonus video. I don't know if this will make the cut, but let's see. I would be crazy to actually put this up. Extremely crazy. Let's see. I read the free how to save a life. Way. I'm gonna do hear this song. I keep on skipping the song that I want the next because I see a song that I like. Step 1, you say we need to talk. He walks, you say sit down, it's just a talk. He smiles politely back at you. You stare politely right on through some sort of window to your right. As he goes left and you stay right between the lines of fear and blame. You begin to wonder why you came. Did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness, and I would have stayed up with you all night had I known how to save a life. Let him know that you know best, 'cause after all, you do know best. Try to slip past his defense without granting innocence. Lay down a list of what is wrong, the things you've told him all along. Pray to God he hears you, and I pray to God he hears you. And where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness, and I would have stayed up with you all night had I known how to save a life. As he begins to raise his voice, you lower yours, grant him one last choice, till you lose a road, or break with the ones you followed. He will do one of two things. He will admit to everything, or he'll say he's just not the same, and you'll begin to wonder why you came. Did I belong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness. How could I stayed up with you all night had I known how to save a life? Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness, and I would have stayed up with you all night had I known how to save a life. What? We're gonna give you one more song. One more. Boop, boop, boop. Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere along in the bitterness. I could have stayed up with you all night had I known How to save a life? Where did I go wrong? Yeah, 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 yeah. I would have stayed up. How to save a life? You know what I'm saying? So this is chasing cars. Oh my God. We'll do it all. Everything on our own. We don't need anything or anyone. 'Cause if I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? I don't quite know how to say how I feel. Those three words I said too much. They're not enough. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. Let's waste time chasing cars around our heads. I need your grace to remind me to find my own. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. All that I am, all that I ever was, is here in your perfect eyes. They're all I can see. I don't know where, confused about how as well. Just know that these things will never change for us at all. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Would you? Thank you. This is episode 1 of Honestly Though, the podcast show, and that has been the bonus episode, the bonus footage from this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more of my beautiful voice over the airways and the audio waves and the video waves and all of those stuff, feel free to hit that like button and share this video. Probably not so much sharing it because we don't want this content out there that much. Alright, so thank you for tuning in, and we're out.